Hi. Hi, dear students. Dear students, can you hear me?
जी सर.
Okay. Dear boys, today your prescribed teacher, Saifuddin Islam, is not available. So instead of him, I have come here to present to this class. Do you understand? Dear boys,
Yes sir.
do you catch me? Okay. I think we can start our class because now it is 1:10, so we can start our class. Actually, today we learn changing sentences, and the topic is how to change an interrogative sentence, how to change this, how to change an interrogative, or how to transmit a sentence into interrogative. Today we'll learn about that, especially from affirmative, assertive, or negative. We'll transmit that kind of sentence into interrogative. We know what is the criteria of interrogative sentence. Actually, the criteria of interrogative sentence is to use the auxiliary verb at the beginning of the sentence. It is the main and fundamental criteria of interrogative sentence. That means if any boy wants to change the sentence into its interrogative form, of course he needs an auxiliary. We know there are 12 kinds of tenses in English, except two tenses. In all of the tenses, there are their own auxiliaries. And exceptional tenses are present indefinite tense and past indefinite tense. In these two kinds of tense, we know there are no auxiliaries. So when you will be given a sentence to transmit that sentence into its interrogative, then you will fall in a danger. And to overcome this danger, you will have to borrow some outsider auxiliaries. And they are, we know, do or does or did. If the sentence is of present indefinite tense, in that case, we will hire do or does at the place of auxiliary. But if the sentence is of past indefinite tense, and at that time we will hire or borrow the auxiliary, and that is did. And we will have to set do, does, or did at the beginning of the sentence, at the very beginning of the sentence. Boys, can you hear me?
जी सर.
Ashmit? Ashmit? Hi, Ashmit? Ashmit? Okay. Dear boys, where is Ashmit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you catch me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Salman Hayat. Do you catch me? Okay. Salman, today we are learning how we will be able to change an assertive sentence or negative sentence or affirmative sentence into its interrogative form. And we are discussing about that. Actually, if any one of us want to change a sentence into its interrogative, at the very beginning of the sentence, we will have to set the auxiliary. We know there are 12 kind of tenses, except the present indefinite tense, past
DANNY. Then.
Sir, Mr. Danny আপনার সাথে দেখা করতে এসেছেন.
Okay, who is speaking? Do you have any question? You can ask me. Okay, dear boys. Now we are going to use the whiteboard. So everybody be very much careful so that you can learn the criteria and the techniques of changing interrogative. Okay, boys. Look at the whiteboard. Actually, there are three kinds of rules of changing a sentence into its interrogative. Today, we'll try to learn all the techniques of interrogative sentence. The first technique, I am discussing about that. Suppose a sentence is given to you and you are asked to change that sentence into its interrogative. How you will do that? First of all, the activity that should be done by you, that is, you should be very much careful and you should go through the sentence very well and try to look where the auxiliary of the sentence is. Okay? And another thing that is very much important for you, that you will try to find out whether in the sentence there is used nobody, no one, none, or anybody, anyone, and everybody, everyone, etc. So first rule, the ground of first rule I am speaking, if we find the use of nobody, no one, none, these sorts of words, if we use at the very beginning of the sentence, then one kind of structure should be followed. And second rule and second ground is, if we see that the sentence is using everybody, everyone, anybody, anyone, all at the very beginning of the sentence, then it will fall in the rule number 2. And if we don't see the use of nobody, no one, none, and anybody, everybody, everyone, anyone, all, if we don't see all these words at the beginning of the sentence, then we will think that the sentence is from the third rule. So the first rule and the first structure I am writing on the board, and you all will follow me. So nobody, no one, none. If we find any one of these words to use at the beginning of the sentence, the following structure should be Okay, dear boys, is the board clear to everybody? Dear boys, can you see the whiteboard clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dr. O.K. Chai. Jyoti
Sir, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here, this is the rule number 1. Here I have written down that nobody, no one, none. If we find any one of this word to use at the beginning of the sentence, the following structure should be maintained. The following structure should be maintained. And look here, the structure is like this. First of all, you will have to use who. And after using who,
I can see the whiteboard.
yes, again,
I can see the whiteboard, the writing.
okay, but the pen is new one, but it is not servicing good. You understand, boys? Try to. Okay, I am closing the door. Now, is it a little bit clear than the before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The structure is like this. First of all, you will have to use who. After using who, you will have to write the verb. We know there may two kinds of verb in a sentence. One is auxiliary, another is main verb. But actually, auxiliaries and main verb is equal to verb. So, if you find any kind of verb in the sentence, after using who, you will use that. Either that verb may be auxiliary or main. You will use that. Okay, first of all, we will use who. After using who, we will use the verb. And after using verb, we will have to use the object. And last of all, we will not forget to use the note of interrogation sign. Do you understand, boys? Very much, you should be very much careful whether you are using note of interrogation sign or not at the last of at the ending of the sentence. Is it clear to you? In always, you will not forget to use the note of interrogation sign at the ending part of the sentence. So what is the structure? Then you will say, sir, first of all, we will use who, and then what is the next step? You will say, sir, the next step is to use the verb auxiliary or main. Both kind of verb can be used. After writing auxiliary or main verb or auxiliary plus main verb, you will have to use the object. And after writing object, we will use the note of interrogation sign. So I am doing the first one. Nobody can do it. This is the example. Nobody can do it. So look here at the beginning of the sentence. We are finding the use of nobody. Okay. So nobody. This is the condition. Nobody, no one, and none. And this is the first condition. So now we will use who. Who. Okay. And what the structure is saying? The structure is saying that after using who, we will have to use the verb. So what is the verb here? Boys, what is the verb in the sentence?
Can.
Can.
No can. Can do. Okay. Can is
Can
the
do.
Can is the auxiliary, do is the verb. And I have said that auxiliary plus main verb is equal to verb. Okay. So what is the verb? Then you can say, sir, can do. If I ask you what is the auxiliary here, you can say, sir, can. If I ask you what is the principal verb or main verb here, sir, do is the main verb or principal verb. Understood, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the verb is here, can do. So who can do?
Yes, sir.
Who can do? After writing verb, last of all, we will use the object. And what is the object here in this sentence? The object is it. Okay. So who can do it? Is it completed? Is the answer completed?
Yes.
No, no.
No,
No.
sir.
Because there
No,
is
sir.
no mentioning of note of integration sign. Do you understand? At the last of the
Yes, sir.
ending of the sentence, we will use the note of integration sign. Now the answer is completed. Now the answer is completed. Okay, boys. Now I am writing another 3 examples from this rule number 1. And till then I am erasing the board. Okay. Number 2. So my boys, look here. Here I have written 3 examples. Nobody will be agree. Nobody will be agree to do the work. Then none will say so. And
Who will be agree to do the work?
nobody will be agree to do the work. Is it clear? Boys, nobody will be agree to do the work. Is it clear to you? And then none will say
Yes,
so.
sir.
Okay, none will say.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. And last example is none will come. None came to help him. None came to help him. These are the 3 examples I have written down. Okay, now we will solve this exercise. Look, here there are 3 examples. At the beginning of these examples, we are finding in every places that there is the use of nobody, no one, and none. And the rule number 1, in rule number 1, we have learned that if we see the use of nobody, no one, none at the beginning of a sentence, then the first structure should be followed or maintained there. And according to the first structure, we'll use the who at first. That means WH question, who will use at the beginning. And after writing who, we'll have to use the verb. And after writing verb, we'll use the object. And last of all, we will not forget to use the note of integration sign. Okay, nobody will be agree to what. So here the beginner word is nobody. So what should we use first? Who?
Who?
Okay. After writing who, we will use the verb. What is the verb here? Will be agree.
Will be agree
Because
to do.
will be is the auxiliary and agree. Okay. So will be agree. Who will be agree? And then the object. And what is the object here? To do the work.
To the work. To do the work.
Okay, fine. Is the answer clear? Is the answer completed? No.
No.
Because
No, sir.
we haven't used the note of integration sign.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is now the answer is completed. My boys, now we are going to the example number 3. none will say so. This is the example number 3. And look, boys, at the beginning, we
Who
are
will say so?
say so. Okay, none will say so. And look here at the beginning of the sentence. At the beginning of the sentence, the word that is used here and that is none. Okay? So the none is the symbol here to recognize the rule number 1. So this is the structure, this is the sentence from the rule number 1 because none has been used at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, none. Now we will use who. Then we will use, after using who, we will use the verb. What is the verb here, Rashmi?
Will say.
Fine. Will say is the
Will
verb.
say.
Will is the auxiliary and say is the principal. So verb is totally will say. Will say and then the object. So, okay, who will say so? And this is the note of interrogative sign. We'll never forget to use the note of interrogative sign at the case of interrogative sentence. Then the last example here of the rule number 1. The last example here I have again, and that is no one came to help him. No one came to help him. So look, boys, at the beginning, what is the beginner word here? Boys, can you? Okay, the beginner word is here, no one. So no one. And that's why we will use at the beginning who. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After writing who, what is the next word that should be used now?
Verb. And
Came.
So the next activity is to use the verb. And here there is the no auxiliary. Only the main verb, and that is came. So who came? And after that, we will use the object. And what is the object? To help him. To help him.
help him.
And finally, note of interrogative sign. So I think you all are understood now about the rule number 1 at the case of interrogative sentence. Is it clear, boys?
Yes, sir.
So I can say that you all are understood about the rule number 1 grounding the interrogative sentence. Now we are going to the next rule, that means rule number 2. Now I am erasing the board. So that we can go to the next step. That means into the next rule. That rule number 1 has been finished, and now we are going to the rule number 2 of interrogative sentence. There, boys. No. There, boys. I have written here. Anybody, anyone, everybody, everyone, all. Okay, again I am saying anybody, anyone, everybody, everyone, all. If we find any one of these words to use at the beginning of the sentence, the following structure should be maintained there. Again, I am making clear to you. Anybody, anyone, everybody, everyone, and all. If we find any one of these words to use at the beginning of the sentence, the following structure should be maintained there. Okay, now I am writing that specific structure.
স্যার কি করে আমি শুনি তো
Okay, boys, now I am making it clear. The structure is like this. First of all, we will use who. After using who, W is question who, we will use auxiliary verb. If we find the auxiliary verb in the sentence itself, at that time we will use that specific auxiliary verb. Suppose the sentence everybody was given a ticket. Look here, the auxiliary verb is was, so was should be used. But if you don't find the use of any kind of auxiliary in that sentence, at that time you will have to hire the auxiliary from the outside, and they are do, does, or did. So in absence of any auxiliary but unit, at that time you will hire the auxiliary from the outside of the sentence. Okay. If the sentence is a present tense independent tense, then we'll use or hire do or does. And if the sentence is of past inheritance, at the time we'll have the auxiliary verb did. Do you understood? Do you understand, boys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I think you all are understood. So after writing auxiliary verb or do, does, did, then we'll go to use the main verb. That means principal verb. If you find the principal verb in the sentence, then you will use. But if you don't find the use of principal verb, or that means strong verb or weak verb, at the time you need not to use the main verb at that time. Okay, after completing this term, that means after writing or not writing main verb, then we have to go to use the object. And after writing object, of course, we will finish the sentence by using the noted introduction sign. So the total structure is like this: who, auxiliary verb, who does it if necessary, then main verb. Okay. Dear boys. Hi, students.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay, now I am writing examples regarding this rule. Okay, boys. So I have to erase the board first, and then I will write the example. Number 1. Okay, 2 examples I have written here. First example is everybody hates a liar. Boys, I am asking you. I am asking you. What is the beginner word here? Everybody. Okay, everybody. I have written here that everybody. So everybody and everybody and anyone. So what I will have to do now? First of all, we will use the word who. Okay. So now I am writing who.
Yes, sir.
In who, I will have to use the auxiliary verb. But in the rule number 1, we need not to use auxiliary. There only we use the verb that are in exist in that sentence itself. Only we have written that. But here look, if there is no higher the auxiliary from the outside, and the higher auxiliary verbs are here, do, does, or did. Here we are not watching the use of auxiliary. Look here, everybody excel. In this sentence, we are not watching any kinds of auxiliary has been used here. Is it correct, boys? Look here, there is no auxiliary in the first sentence. Everybody excel. There is no auxiliary. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But we have to hire the students did.
Okay. Here, as we are not finding the auxiliary verb, so we will have to hire the auxiliary from the outside of the sentence. And the hired auxiliary verbs are do, does, or did. Okay, boys? Do, does, or did. Now we will have to hire that. And look, as we are watching here the s or es added verb. So we will have to borrow the verb does. Is it clear? Does.
Yes, sir.
Okay, who does? Who does? One thing I forgot to write here. After using
Who does?
the verb, you will have to use the not. Okay, you will have to use the negative sign not. So who does not? Okay, boys. Who does not? Then the main verb.
Little.
Then the main verb head. We will have to.
And object is the hire.
We will have to eliminate s. Okay. So not heads. Heads should be you. So who does not head and an object a liar. And what will be the sign? So boys, who does not hit a liar? So structure I am again pronouncing who, then auxiliary verb, do, does, did, if necessary, then use of not, then the use of not. Okay, boys? Not, after using not, we will have to use the main verb, and last of all, we will have to use the object and not a different sign. Then the example number 2. Anyone support him? Anyone support him? Look,
Who
boys.
does not support him?
So
Support him.
anyone supports him. Anyone supports him. So Ashwin, what would be the answer here?
Who does not support him?
Supports or support?
Support.
Okay, only support. S should be eliminated. Okay. So the
Yes,
answer,
sir.
Ashwin, thank you and congratulations. So who does not or doesn't? So does not or doesn't? Who does not support? Support him and note of interpretation sign. Dear boys, now I am writing another only one example because our time is limited now. We are at the birth of the time. So time is limited now. Now I am writing example number 3. All men will die. Dear boys, look here. I have written here all men will die. So now what we will have to do, boys? Who? Then the verb. What is the verb here? Will. Who will? Then negation sign not. and then verb, and then object, but there is no object. So I am unable to use the object now because there is no mentioning of any kind of object in this sentence. So not a written sign. So I think you all are understood now about the changing of interrogative sentence, especially from the first on rule and rule number 2. So do you have any question? Do you have any question regarding these two rules? Ask me. I will make you clear about that. Do you have any question? You can ask me. Dear boys, if I get any chance to take any class, then in next class I will discuss the next rule, that means last rules, that means rules number 3. Okay, boys? So you can ask me now. Ashmi,
Yes,
Ashmi,
sir. Yes, sir.
will you ask me any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Niloy Kumar Pal. Niloy Kumar Pal.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any question?
No, sir, I don't have any question to ask you.
Okay, I think you all understood now about the interrogative sentence. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
These
Yes,
are
sir. We understood the two rules properly.
Okay, again say I am not hearing you.
Sir, I said we understood the two rules properly.
Okay, now you are able-bodied about the two rule. Okay, you can address these two rules anybody, I think. So again, I am reviewing these two rules. Okay, boys, for you better understand. Now I am reviewing these two rules. So the first rule that we have learned today, that is, at first you will have to go through the sentence very well, and you will be careful whether the sentence is using nobody, no one, none. If this sort of word should be used at the beginning of the sentence, then you will think in yourself that this is the sentence from the rule number 1. And again, you will have to go through the sentence very clearly and try to find what is the word that is used at the beginning of the sentence. If we see that at the beginning of the sentence, anybody, anyone, everybody, everyone, and all, from these 5 words, if we find that this kind any one of these 5 words is used at the beginning of the sentence, then you will think that this rule is on the basis of the rule number 2. So this sentence is on the ground number rule number 2. So first rule is on the basis of nobody, no one, none. These are the 3 special words. When we will see these 3, any one of these 3 at the beginning of the sentence, then we will think that this sentence is from the rule number 1. And again, if we see that if the sentence is used, everybody, everyone, everybody, everyone, and all, if any one of these 5 words, if you find at the beginning of the sentence, then you think that the sentence is from the rule number 2. And the next day, we will discuss from last rule. Okay, boys.